The IEC has disqualified Jacob Zuma from the national list of the Umkhonto weSizwe political party, as a result, banning Jacob Zuma from going back to parliament. Let's discuss this issue and let's unpack it, because I am here to argue that Umkhonto weSizwe has got a case in their hand, and I might even add that they have got a chance of winning this case against the IEC. Let me explain that and much more in this coming video.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King 053, Mr. Easy, Imali, Enengi, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I want to discuss the merits of this case of the IEC kicking and banning Jacob Zuma from going back to parliament. I want to discuss some few things. Who comes up with these laws? What does the constitution say actually? What are the experts saying? What are the chances of Umkhonto weSizwe actually winning this case and Jacob Zuma actually going back to parliament? We are back at home, as you can see, back in the studio, back on fire. We need to do more work. If you want to see your boy King every day on your screen, please click the subscribe button and make sure you leave your thoughts on the comment section. It's very important, especially about this matter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for me, Zondo's name has always lingered in the background when it came to this decision. And I've got a clip that can explain to you guys in more detail why I'm saying that. I'm questioning a lot of things when it comes to this law. And I'm asking myself, why is it that South Africans don't ask these questions? Why is it that South Africans don't question laws? Why is it that we normal citizens of the country cannot question laws and say, but why 12 months plus? Why is it that someone can be redeemed from this law after serving 5 years of that sentence? Why can't we ask the why? Why is it that we must just accept if you were sentenced 12 months plus in the past 5 years, you are not allowed to participate in elections that can award you to going back to parliament? Why can't we question that? Who came up with this number 12 months? Who came up with this number that says only after you have served your 12 months plus, then you need to stay 5 years after that? There's so many questions, ladies and gentlemen, we need to ask. There was a television show. It's topical. I think it's on SABC News. I saw some interesting debates happening there. Let me play the first clip for you guys so that you guys can hear why am I bringing up this Constitution Court, which is headed by Zondo. And let's try to puzzle things together and see actually where are we coming from and where are we going with this thing of Jacob Zuma.
There is more to this than it meets the eye. I totally agree with Mr. Kodo that in terms of law, it seems pretty clear. But as I said, there is more to it than it meets the eye. Ask yourself the very first question, how did the Constitutional Court arrive to the 15 months? That's where things started going wrong. In fact, things started going wrong with Zondo himself, because Zondo is one person who created us these problems in many ways. One, when the former president appeared before him, he was not treated like any other. I remember having a series of interviews on this one. One of the callers said, no, but Mngomezulu is wrong because Zuma cannot be treated like all other witnesses because he's been charged. I said, no one has been charged. If you appear before the commission, Mr. Kodo confirmed this. There is a difference between a commission of inquiry and a court of law. A commission of inquiry is there to just get facts. So that's where things went wrong. Then, as if that was not enough, when the issue went straight to the Constitutional Court, the Constitutional Court did not apply its mind. It just took this case as presented by Zondo, who was part of the Constitutional Court anyway, would have expected the outcome. Then, of course, there was no trial that ever took place there. And then the judgment that was delivered by Sisi Kambembe was riddled with emotions. So in other words, part of it was based in law, but the bulk of it was based on emotions. I remember having interviews with some of your colleagues saying that if you are a judge, more especially the Constitutional Court, we have to apply the law to the letter, simply because that is the apex court of the land. Whatever mistake you make at that level will come back to haunt us. So in this case, we cannot blame the IEC, but the blame should go back to the Zondo Commission and should go back to Sisi Kambembe and his company, those who delivered the judgment, which, as I said, was riddled with emotions.
Now, the reason why I believe that Umkhonto Wesizwe has a case here in their hands against the IEC and against the Constitution Court, against the lawmakers of South Africa, is because Jacob Zuma was the first South African in the history of forever, not forever, post-1994, to be tried, to be convicted of a crime without trial. So this man was found guilty without standing in the what you call it, in the dock, without standing in court and pleading his case and arguing his case. The reason for that is because Zondo was behind everything. And we know Zondo works hand in hand with Cyril Ramaphosa, and they will destroy this man. They want to destroy this man. Let me add by saying, people in South Africa, because of the hate they have for Jacob Zuma, they don't understand actually what was the crime that Jacob Zuma committed. Why was he imprisoned? What is the reason? They just hear contempt of court. They don't even know what that means. Ask any South African here in the street and ask him, why was Jacob Zuma sent to court, to prison? And why is it that they chose 15 months? Why not 6 months? Why not 8 months? Why not 12 months? Can you see what is in play here, ladies and gentlemen? This was a strategic planning that they were doing about Cyril Ramaphosa and about Zondo Commission. And you will excuse me for dragging Cyril Ramaphosa's name in here, because I don't think the man is as clean as you guys make him to be. He is systematically working with other people's faces. See, Cyril Ramaphosa does not make a noise. Even with this Umkhonto Wesizwe thing, you haven't heard Cyril Ramaphosa actually speak and address this thing as the president of the African National Congress. He works behind people. He works behind puppets. He controls the puppets and they dance for him. Abo Tolo, Abo Duma, Abo Fikile Mbalula and the likes. They speak even now. It looks like it's got Thabo Mbeki on his strings also. Thabo Mbeki, Kulmi Dodi, left and right. The guy that had the 2/3 majority, Kulmi Dodi, about Jacob Zuma. Now my question is, if Jacob Zuma was convicted on a crime that we don't know what is the crime, because remember, they were forcing him to come and stand in court for things that came from the Zondo Commission. And he's saying, no, even at the Zondo Commission, I did not get a fair chance to plead my case. And Zondo Commission is not a court. It does not decide if a person is guilty or not. It's an inquiry. They inquire to get information from you. It's not a must that you must be there. It's not a forced. They can't summon you against your will. Jacob Zuma said, remove this man here, Uzondo, and I will gladly come and sit in this Zondo Commission, no problem. but Zondo refused. And you saw how serious Zondo was when Jacob Zuma was there, totally treating him differently, from laughing with the president, rubbing his hands, making jokes with the president and everyone else. I think there was one lady who was an accountant that I saw that Zondo did not like that lady, and he was pushing that lady. The rest of everyone else he was smiling with up until Jacob Zuma came. You guys, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Now let's listen to the merits and let's listen to the acts, the law. What does the Constitution say about this thing of Jacob Zuma not being able to stand back or to go back into parliament? Listen to what the people who studied law are saying about this.
Firstly, I will focus on Section 47, which states that if it happens that you need to qualify, you need to be eligible to be part of the National Assembly, there are certain instances where you don't qualify. So the main one that I'll talk about, I'll just go straight to Section 47, subsection 1, paragraph E, that says if you have, as you've stated before, if you have a sentence of 12 months or more, you are not eligible to be part of the National Assembly, right, which is what is happening with the former president. He has a sentence from, if you remember, from June 2021, where he was given a sentence of 15 months. So what happens now is that if he's in that situation, he's not eligible to be part of the National Assembly, same as Section 106, subsection 1, paragraph E, which is part of the section that talks about being part of the provincial legislature.
Right.
Now, what I found interesting is the fact that obviously the MK might have anticipated that this might happen, but the question is what can they do about it? Because if you had the interview that was done by the commissioner, she stated very clearly that in any case, before anything happens, the person who's part of the list to be candidates, in terms of Section 27, subsection 2, paragraph C, you must sign on the candidate as a substance form, right, that says that you qualify. So you qualify in terms of the Constitution. So that is the challenge that I think the president has.
Now, according to the lawmakers, they want to have us to believe that, no, this is a clear-cut case. Jacob Zuma has got a case against the South African law because they send him to prison without a trial. That is why I say this is a special case. It's not like other cases. It's not like he went to court, got a trial, got dates, postponement, and whatever, and at the end he was found guilty, I don't know for what, and after being found guilty, he was sentenced 15 years in prison. It's not that case. They like, no, come to the case. He's like, no, why must I come to court? Because Zondo says so. Zondo is writing to the courts to summon me. According to the Zondo Commission, I'm not going to come. He's got a right to do that. Why? You need to stand your ground as a man to say, I'm a principled person and I cannot allow myself to undergo a trial, or not a trial actually, to undergo a process where I know I am guilty before even coming to the courts. Everyone, the media was channeling everyone's mind to say Jacob Zuma is guilty. That's what they were doing. You guys can go in the comment section and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Please. Please. If you are not a Jacob Zuma follower, which is not many people in South Africa, the rest, they thought Jacob Zuma was guilty. Only people who can question with diamond, but why am I in so? Huh? What is this, man? What is this that they are trying to do to get this 78-year-old man back in prison? What are they going to gain? Can't they are preparing for this thing of the election? We don't know, people. Now, the IEC has come out clearly to describe to us why is it that Umsholozi cannot go in there for a third, for a final, let's call it a final term in parliament. Why is it that he can't go? They say he is going to be declared of an unsound mind. Why is it this? Okay, let me play the clip so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, and let me close up with my final remarks.
I think what you've been emphasizing on the issue of the former President Jacob Zuma, the conviction, the sentencing of over 12 months of imprisonment. But I think, Blaine, what's important to highlight is that the IEC had said that, listen, it's not about former President Jacob Zuma. As you know, that there were other objections that were actually raised, 8 to be in total. But of course, the IEC had to do everything by the book, meaning everything by the Constitution. And then the argument also comes up about Gayton McKenzie. Right. Remember, he was convicted of robbery years ago. But of course, he was exonerated because there is a rule, according to the Constitution, of which the IEC actually used. The disqualification ends after 5 years after the sentence has been completed. Right. This ground of disqualification does not extend to persons who are yet to be sentenced, and those while sentenced are yet to exhaust appeal mechanisms available to them. So, of course, he's exonerated of this this very process.
Because of the 5 years.
Exactly, because of the 5 years.
Okay, so let's discuss the 4 matters. The first matter is that he will be declared of an unsound mind. Unsound mind it means that you are unpredictable as to your actions. You are unpredictable, and you are irrational when it comes to. You don't do things according to logic. You've got an unsound mind. And it says that the sentence that you served is more than 12 months. And remember, they strategically sentenced him for 15 months. Not 12, not 9, not 10, not nothing. More than 12 months. And then they say, because you have served a sentence of more than 12 months, or you've been convicted for a term of more than 12 months, you are not rehabilitated properly. You are insolvent. So you tell me today, does our prison system rehabilitate people? Does our prison system, who can come out and say, no, Gayton McKenzie is not a thief anymore, does not rob people anymore? How do we know that? How can we prove that? How can we prove that? That these once convicted criminals, they are now rehabilitated. You guys tell me on the comment section. Who determines that this person is now fully rehabilitated? He's okay now. He's no longer insolvent. Who decides that? Africa, let's question things, man, that don't take us forward as Africans. It says you're disqualified. Your disqualification, it ends after 5 years. Why after 5 years? You will change after 5 years. What is going to happen after 5 years? Let's use logic, man, because law is questioning our logic. Serious, they are questioning our level of intelligence. What is it that has changed after 5 years? If let's say I have raped someone, I got 15 years. I serve 5 years and I get parole or whatever the case can be. And I run for a member of parliament. And now I'm qualified because 5 years, I've served 5 years. Or 5 years ago, I finished my sentence, for example. Who says I have changed? How do you determine that? Why 5 years? Why not 15 years? Why not 10 years? Why not 3 years? Why not 4 years? Why 5? King, so when you want people to just come out of prison and run for, if people want to vote for them, who am I to stop them? Because remember, in the eyes of some people, you might be a terrorist, but in the eyes of other people, you are a hero. That is what is happening here. I don't like the way they are treating Jacob Zuma. They are trying by all means. And it looks like now ANC will not mind giving this trademark thing to to Mkhonto Wesizwe. But banigeni. As long as Msholozi can't go back, IEC, make sure that Msholozi does not go back to Parliament. We can't have that. That will be a lose on top of a lose for us. That is what is happening here. That is what is happening. So I'm just here to plead with South Africans. When you are debating these matters in the streets, when you are talking about this type of issue of Msholozi and everything, I don't care what type of political party you are supporting, whether the EFA, the ANC, the PA, the DA, whatever. Let's make it a habit of asking why. Let's make it a habit of asking why. Why is it that a person that comes from prison can't run for president? Why is it? How many people have came out of prison and became presidents in Africa? How many? Almost all the presidents come from prison. King, you're talking about old things. I'm speaking about things of last week. We saw a young man of 44 years old in Senegal coming 10 days fresh from prison to become the president of Senegal. King, that's Senegal, that's not South Africa. Yes, is South Africa. Then let's ask the question, why in South Africa? If I come fresh from prison, sentenced for more than 15 months for whatever case I've committed, then I come out, I manage to convince people to vote for me. Why do you want to stop people from voting for me? And why do you want to stop me for going into Parliament? Because remember, no one individual can make a decision that can change the country in Parliament. It's not possible. You need, even if it's a 2/3 majority, you still need the buy-in of other political parties. You need the buy-in, because you're not going to get the 2/3 majority alone. Even if you get the 2/3 majority alone, there's still members of your party that can vote against you in Parliament for a motion of changing a law or motion of whatever. One person cannot impact Parliament at that level. Maybe they fear Jacob Zuma to such a level that we don't understand it, but who knows? Who knows? I want to hear what you guys are saying on the comment section. What are you guys saying on the comment section? Am I wrong in questioning why? Or now we are Zmuza to why? Jacob Zuma that because clearly he will be president again unless in adala any game, the EFF and the EFF allow him to rule. But chances of him being president again, no. But chances of him dethroning the ANC, very high. Very high. Very high. The only way Jacob Zuma could be president in a coalition government is if he gets more votes, a higher percentage than the EFF. That's the only way. If he gets less than the EFF, I'm sure the EFF will make him deputy, or will find a way to make him work in the system to say, don't worry, stay in the sideline. We're going to change the laws to bring you back in Parliament, and then we are going to rule as the EFF in coalition with the rest of the other parties. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back at home, back in my studio. It's been a long Easter weekend. I might say I enjoyed it, even though there was trips, there was hospital involved in my trips and all of that, without saying much, but we thank God that really the hands of healing is upon us and on us, and then we are doing well. So if it's the first time you are tuning in this channel, you are in your Pan-Africanist podcast, where we advocate for one Africa, one currency, one Africa, one army, one Africa, one currency. I've already said that. One Africa that is united behind one president, and one Africa, one language, and Africa without any borders. That's what we are advocating for in this channel. If you like things like that, I think you should consider clicking the subscribe button. For the rest of you, or 21,000 who have clicked the subscribe button, I appreciate it so much. It's free to subscribe on a YouTube channel, by the way. You just click the subscribe button. Later on, when you don't like what your boy King is saying, you can unsubscribe, which is fine. But if you love what you are seeing now, please click the subscribe button. It helps very much for the growth of the channel. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. And after you pray, African child, stand up, do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.
Black Heart, the hustle continua. 100% good quality t-shirts, made to inspire your goals and dreams. T-shirts are now available at an affordable price. Place your order now. 068-473-6908. Instagram at Black7576. Facebook page Black Heart.